Good morning, beautiful souls. How are you all today? I hope you are fine and dandy and tickety-boo. And what a scorcher. So today it's quite overcast at the moment, but we're about 25 degrees, which isn't huge, but we're so humid, so it actually feels more like 30. The saving grace today is that there's a really stiff breeze. Oh my goodness, I'm so grateful. It's the kind of day for not doing anything too strenuous. But, oh, I've got a sweat tash already. But I do need to get on today because July has turned into a beautifully crazy month of spending a lot of time with family, friends, what have you. So I'm down here this morning. This afternoon my sister arrives for a visit. Then when she goes back up north, the next day I've got a visit with a friend with a new baby. So suddenly I'm looking at this week and thinking, oh, no garden time. And it's been that way for the whole of July, it feels like. But what's wonderful, of course, is in this beautiful month of July, you know, there's nothing really urgent to attend to apart from watering. Mostly, look, if I hadn't been here for the whole month, of course, the climbing squash wouldn't be up the teepee, they'd be sprawling all over the floor, but they'd still produce, so it's fine. The watering has been the main concern, but, oh, thank heavens, last Friday afternoon, it was a drizzly afternoon, all afternoon, and I couldn't resist a quick dash down here because I knew I was getting really short on time for doing any gardening. So excuse me while I have a slurp of water. It is really humid today. When it's this humid, I make sure I stay topped up. Yeah, so it was a really drizzly afternoon, but knowing that I wouldn't have much time to come to the garden over the coming days, I thought, well, I need to do some harvesting for food for the next sort of 3 or 4 days. Plus just check on things and top up my beer traps. So what was lovely on Friday when I came, it's Monday now, is that the first of the lilies had opened. Oh my goodness, the sight of them today. Beautiful. I'll show them to you in a minute because they're just stunning. So they've opened, perfect timing for my sister's visit. We're planning to have a day down here, a sort of a picnic day, because her cousin-in-law lives quite near as well, so we're all going to get together. Anyway, yeah, so I came down in the drizzle. It was beautiful, the garden smelt gorgeous, all the colours seemed more vivid. I topped up the beer traps, and literally within minutes, it was like this trail of slugs heading to each of the beer traps. Oh, hideous, but it shows they are attracted to it. Great stuff. Anyway, that night we had a ton of rain as well, so that was sort of like put my mind at rest. I don't need to worry the fact that I'm not going to be here all weekend, although I suddenly did remember all the brassicas in the cold frame which won't have got the rain. Haven't checked on them yet. I'm hoping to start getting those out next week when I lift my onions. The brassicas can start going out. I don't know how timing will go today, but I might even get a few in because I'm going to take some peas out today. That's the plan, amongst other things. So I would like quickly to say a couple of thank yous. Both you'll see. One was a birthday present of new Enviromesh from Kevin. Thank you so much, Kevin. The piece of Enviromesh, or all the pieces of Enviromesh I've got and have been using, are all more than second hand, I think. All a bit holy. Not holy Sunday, holy. Holy as in holes in them. Cheerio, rusty. So I quickly threw that over my carrot bed in the drizzle on Friday, but it's just a bit narrower than my old piece, and it just didn't quite go down, and I couldn't get the hoops further into the ground, so I'm going to dismantle all of that covering today, get the hoops lowered so that then the Enviromesh will fit all over it. Yay. It's typical, isn't it, as well, when I need to do a job with mesh or anything like that. It's windy, never mind. My other thank you is to Julie, who gifted me for my birthday a really sweet little garden ornament. Now, I don't go massively on garden ornaments because they take up too much space, and that's growing space, but this is so cute and it sits perfectly on my deck. And it's a little kind of, oh, what is she? Is she a fairy? I don't know, but it's just a little sort of garden pixie girl sitting reading a book, and I thought, oh, that's so perfect. So hopefully when the madness of July has finished, I might actually get some time down here to just sit in the deck chair reading. It'd be great. So thank you both, that's really lovely. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, which is why I've got my piece of paper in my hand to remind me to mention it, is going back a couple of videos with the butterflies and the lavender. I was just so delighted to see so many, and not cabbage whites, which is what I normally have and which is all I've ever had down here. So if you remember, I'd gone to look in one of our communal sheds at the ID chart. But when I got home that evening, I thought, I wonder if I can download a chart. I'm sure I must be able to. So I Googled, and all I put in was butterfly identification chart. And the first thing that came up was an organisation called Butterfly Conservation. And sure enough, there was an ID chart. But what I hadn't known is they do a butterfly count. So much like the RSPB do the garden bird count way back in January, and you know, it's something I do every year. It's really, really useful information for the RSPB to get back from folk all over the country. It helps us, you know, look at, are things on the increase, are things on the decrease? Is that because of habitat creation, habitat loss, more food around, less food around? So it's really, really great that so many, I think it's into the thousands of people give that information. What I hadn't known was about the butterfly count. And I guess it's going to be the same sort of thing, that if we all do this count and give our information, it will help them gain knowledge, and the more knowledge they have of numbers, the better able they are to inform us of what we can do to help where there are declining numbers. So the big butterfly count is on from the 19th of July. It started, hasn't it? I don't know the date today, but I'm sure we're into the 20s. So the 19th of July until the 11th of August, all that's required is to spend 15 minutes in the garden, park, allotment, whatever your open space is, your balcony. Observe for 15 minutes and make a note of the different species of butterflies, numbers. So if at any one point you've got 6 red admirals in your lavender, you write down 6. You don't add up, so you don't see 1, then see 6, and then see 2, and add that up to make 9. You give the highest number. So I think it's a bit windy today. I don't think they're going to be out in any numbers, but in a couple of days, like I said, when I'm down here picnicking with my sister, oh my goodness, it's due to be hot. So I'm imagining they'll be out. I'll do it then. Just to say, we are due this heat wave. So everybody, please be careful in your gardens. I think they're saying that by Thursday we should be at 35 degrees, which is 100 Fahrenheit. However, the humidex, whatever it's called, it's going to feel like something like 42, which is 84 plus 114 Fahrenheit. I don't think it's going to be particularly healthy to be out in the garden working in those temperatures. Be out in the garden in the fresh air, but try to do it under shade if you can, and keep topping up with your water. Yes, please stay safe in that kind of heat. I love it when it's warm, but I certainly won't be charging around doing anything physical. I'll be sitting here drinking cold rosé with my sister, watching butterflies. Oh, I can't wait. Okay, well that's a little bit of a catch up, so I'm going to take you down the garden. I'm going to show you, well, wait and see. Come on. Just before I go down the garden, I'd better make sure that the shed is secure. So I've placed my guard here on duty. Hey Rusty, are you guarding? Oh, you're such a gorgeous boy. Oh yes. Oh, we do like our tickle time, don't we? Right, we're not going to start this kind of nonsense again, are we? I've got work to do. I've got things to show the lovely people. Oh yes, good boy. Off we go. Isn't that just a gorgeous sight? I don't think you ever quite get any idea on video of how tall they are. Let me come backwards without falling. But yeah, they're about, oh, the tallest one is nearly 6 feet tall. Absolute beauties. The smell is astonishing. It's such a heady fragrance. The kind of fragrance that's going to put me to sleep. It's beautiful. Still loads more buds to come. Oh, it only flowers for a couple of weeks each year. But my goodness, isn't that worth it? And do you remember when I planted the helenium cutting from my mum, and I was saying it would be a really nice kind of fill in here until the lily comes? I don't know if you're going to be able to make out, but can you see? I've got some new little buds forming, as it were. Not flower buds, you know, just new growth. So, yay, it looks like that is transplanted okay. Brilliant. Oh, look, the first cosmos flower. So tiny. Oh, never mind. The others are finally picking up a bit. But yeah, I think that helenium will work really well to give me a nice splash of colour in this corner as I wait for this magnificence each year. Oh, they are ridiculously beautiful, aren't they? So, just before I get stuck into any work, I just want to quickly show you a couple of those other lovely things, gifts. Things are starting to get bigger, lush up. Peas need to come out today, but you can see beyond. My chard is looking magnificent. Right, stop getting distracted, Vivi. Go where you were going. We need to do a bit more harvesting from the calendula today. I should just say, actually, it is really quite a breezy day today, so I hope that's not going to affect sound in a really miserable way. Need to get some spuds out today. The onions, you can see they're proper ready for lifting now, but that's going to have to wait till next week. Don't have time for that today. They'll be fine. We're not due any more rain, so they can just start to dry in the ground. So this is this beautiful, look, spanking brand new Enviromesh, but my goodness, it didn't. Oh, look, I don't know if you can make out, but down there didn't quite go all the way. I hope no flies got in over the weekend while I was MIA. But yeah, that's going to come off today. Get these hoops lowered, hopefully. So thank you so much for that, Kevin. Look, it's so clean and new and not full of holes. Well, full of little holes. It's supposed to be full of little holes. Little holes. But not the big holes that I did have. Oh, I harvested some spring onions the other day. I was making lunch to take over for my visit with Richard and Paul. They were gorgeous. And just before I get on with things, I wanted to show you my other little gift of my little reading pixie. Isn't that adorable? Oh, let me come the other side. I nearly stood in the lavender. Isn't that adorable? It seems so perfect and so apt for me here in my garden. Okay, time to get on with things. Oh, and I've just realised this tray I left out. Oh, it's absolutely full of water. I need to get these plants out of here. Actually, with these two spare What have we got here? This is a cream of the crop, and that's a Waltham. I'm thinking, I wonder if, let's come through the tansy jungle. Oh my goody goodness. I'm wondering if, oh, I don't know if there's any space. What I might do is steal these leaves to cook and eat, thereby making a bit of a gap, and I think I'm just going to pop those 2 squash in there. They might as well go in because, well, they'll have half a chance of doing something. They did actually last year. I put a couple in here and they came all the way up the fence and then sort of hung on the wires. So yeah, I think I'll do that today too, because put it this way, sitting in a tray on the deck, they are not going to do anything. Wow, this tansy needs a bit of a trim. Welcome to the jungle. Oh, and I noticed as well the peppers. Let me show you one here. You see the peppers forming? Isn't that beautiful? Little one there, another little one there, one in there. How are the ones in the grow bag doing? Oh yes, I can see in here too. Oopla, there you see. Little ones here. Fantastic. Well, they're obviously happy in there. Oh, another one in there. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Okay, I think it's time to get on with some work. Oh, just before I do, your Chacha seems happy. Fantastic, so I'll start to train that along the fence. It's made friends with the sweet peas, which need deadheading again. Actually, I think the sweet peas, I think they might be a bit coming to an end. They seem to be struggling with the heat and the dry. I won't take them out though. I will leave them for now. I'll just keep deadheading. See if I can get a few. Look, there's so many deadheads. See if I can get a few more flowers. And then if it looks like it really is, oopla, it looks like it really is coming to an end, whatever's left by way of the flower heads going over, at that stage I'll just leave them in order to do some seed saving. Another one there. Ooh, blustery blowy day. Right, Rusty, you're supposed to be guarding the shed. Are you just sitting there to survey the work and make sure I do it properly? Yeah, let's get on with things. Oh, this breeze is really beautiful. I just hope it doesn't interfere with the sound too much. Okay, so with the peas, I did 1, 2, 3, 4 successions of sowings in the end. So there are 2 sides. There are 2 sides to every story. This back side, the side I'm on now, I had half of the row with the peas I started in pots. They'd got away, planted them, and then did some direct sowing, and then repeated that on the other side. So this back side, they're done. They're absolutely done. I'm hoping now, I've got a few that are dry enough for seed saving, but the other ones up at this end, these are the was it St Cuthbert or St Hubert? St Hubert's soup. St Cuthbert. What was it? I can't remember. It's a soup pea. It's meant for drying. So they can stay in to dry on the plants. That's great. Any dry ones now, I'll grab them and take them indoors. The ones on the front, on the other side, that's the Kelvedon Wonders, which are still doing great. But they're, oh, I can't get my sticks out. They're pretty well supported by the lentils in front of them. So the plan today is I'm going to have all the sticks out just so I can sort of see what I'm doing a bit better. Obviously at some point I'll go around the other side and harvest any that are ready. I had a few out on Friday. There were loads that were fattening up, so I think there should be some to harvest there today again. But the idea is if I get all the sticks out, the plants that have died back on this side, I can get them out, chopped up, composted, without doing, oopsie, so brittle, don't ever buy willow. Yeah, without disturbing things too much. Now the plan eventually is to put Brussels sprouts in here. So what I'm thinking is that probably in another 2 weeks or so, the Calvin Wonder will have finished. The lentils are fattening up and beginning to dry a bit. So hopefully in 2 weeks' time I can have the last of the Calvin Wonders out and the lentils out and have a go at threshing and winnowing them. Yeah, I'll have a go at threshing and the other bit of them, which will give me the space, the equivalent of popping in 2 rows of sprouts, Brussels sprouts, and then this side, where I've got all my dwarf beans, my sort of experimental dwarf beans this year, they can just stay put until they're all harvested, until they're all finished, which will probably be, I would have thought at least into September. I'll leave some standing for seed saving if I like the bean. What I'm trying to say, sorry, I've got so many things to think about and do today. Little things, but lots of them, is hopefully I'll get 2 rows of sprouts in, one where the lentils were, one where the peas were. Leave this side, and then when this becomes empty, it'll be too late to put any brassicas in by then. So all I'll do is I'll start hunting for mulch, whether it be leaves that are starting to come off the trees, grass clippings, and if I don't find any of those things, I'll just get a load of cardboard on it. Put it this way, it won't be bare, it will be fallow, but it won't be bare. So, yes, getting on. Just broke another bit. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's helping me see a bit better. So, for example, what are you on this side? This is all the Kleine Weingarten. And as I pull them up, I'll just double check for pods that I'm going to use for seed saving. The rest of it, get it chopped up and into the compost bin. Yay! It's going to take me a while. Why don't you go off and do something else instead of watching me trying to decide where to put things? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think poles out first, then I can get them out of the way, can't I? And put my harvest basket and my big old red composting trug. Oh, just to say about my harvesting basket, my little trug, I'll show you. Such a sturdy little thing. Oh, tiptoe around the nasturtiums. I do get asked about this often. Oh my goodness, I've made a proper little obstacle course for myself. Yeah, I get asked about this often. I love it, it's really sturdy because it's got this sort of slight holes in the weave. When I'm harvesting, little loose bits of dirt can fall through. Unfortunately, for those of you who keep asking me about it, who like it, I've had it about, gosh, it must be 25 years, possibly even longer. I think originally it came from Marks and Spencer's, it's got little feet there, which seems like an odd place to get it from. It was a gift, but it's lasted so well, and it wasn't cheap, but it just goes to show, you know, when you're buying something like your harvest basket, get as sturdy an item as you can. It's worth paying that little bit for, because then hopefully, like mine has, it will last for years and years and years. Okay, I'm going to pop this down here. I'm going to stop getting sidetracked. I do like a bit of sidetracking. And get the rest of these poles out. Go and put the kettle on, eh? Brilliant. So that's given me loads more space so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to quickly have a bit of a harvest. Now, all the nasturtiums here, I basically let them self-seed every year. I don't ever sow any, I don't bother, they just do their own thing. I love their seeds. Pickled, it's pretty much the only The only pickled thing I do like, you'll often hear them referred to as poor man's capers. So yeah, I let them seed every year and do what they want. You have to keep a bit of an eye on them. Sometimes they threaten to swamp what they're in, so this has been a perfect example of it today. They were they were starting to get a bit cheeky with the beans that are in there. But what's great is I've just hacked them back. I'm not kind of gentle with them. Just wallop, pull off a trailing branch of it, as it were. And it's great because where I've taken all the peas out, the peas were incredibly dry and brown. So I've got my kind of sort of perfect compost mix in one go. So I've taken out all the brown dead material of the peas, chopped it up, chopped a load of the green nasturtium leaves up, mixed them together, and they'll make a really nice compost together. There's a few weeds as well, and obviously the weeds are still green, but that'll all help in the compost. And here in front where the lentils are, they've done an absolutely wonderful job this year of working as ground cover. And if you remember when I sowed them, I said that I wasn't even bothered about getting a harvest from them. I just wanted some ground cover in front of the peas. But you never know, I might be able to sort out this threshing. Oh God, sort out this threshing and winnowing business. Gosh, I'll certainly give it a go. Oh, these are so beautiful. Small but perfectly formed. Now, I did forget to cover these peas against pea moth at the right time, so it'll be interesting to see if I've done myself out with them by not getting them covered. Fingers crossed not. Looks like that's it for now. Oh, there's always one that gets missed. There's still a few more to come there. So the plants will stay in as they are for now. Lovely. Look at these ones to come. Yay. Oh, also the soup pea that I couldn't remember the name of. It is St. Hubert. Not Cuthbert, Hubert. Good stuff. Oh, let's go and scoff some peas. Oh. Of course, the wind has come. Right. So, what I think, yes, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get all the bean pole lashings off to start with, because everything is a bit too rigidly attached to each other to move anything. Oh, over there for now. When I realised that this new piece was a little bit too narrow to get all the way over, I did try to push all the blue pipes in further, but they weren't whoopla. They weren't having any of it. I can generally get things into the ground, whether it's bean poles or these hoops, I can generally get things in about 8 to 10 inches before I then hit really solid clay. So because I can't get them in any further, what I'll do instead, I'm going to, oh, let's just have it off here. Let's get this out of the way. Boring. Boring job. Yeah, I'll sort that out later. So, they're not going to go in any deeper. So the other option is to change their angle, which should shorten them a bit. So if I stretch that right the way to here, and obviously I still want space for all the plants in there to do their thing. Of course there's nothing to hold it up at the end now. Ah well. I think this will do it. I think this will do okay. I hope so. Suck it and see. Yeah. I'll give you a quick look in this bed before I cover it again. When I was harvesting the spring onions, I realised I've kind of cooked my own goose a bit. I wasn't thinking, oh, onions, onion family. So with my onions, I rarely water them. Maybe at the end of May, beginning of June if we've been really dry, but otherwise I don't tend to water them, and I certainly don't water them in July as I'm wanting them to start drying out. They're good and fat, they're getting ready to lift. The spring onions in here, of course, have been getting regular watering because they're amongst with the carrots and leeks. And what I found was there was a whole run of them which had just, they were horrible. They got the white rot. Let me see, all stepping over my gorgeous bees. Let me see if I can show you in there and show you what I mean. Generally it's all looking pretty good in here. Let's come down. So that's one of the spring onions. Can you see in here? That's a few more. So like I was saying right at the beginning of the year, by way of thinning, I just have a few every now and again. The carrots have been going pretty well, except for the fact that, and I've only ever had it with once before, I've had really quite a lot of them go to seed. So you can see there's kind of big gaps here, that's where I've pulled them for going to seed. But let me show you in here, these are the spring onions. See, oh, that's another rotten one. So they've grown beautifully, but then they've rotted. Oh, so, and I think that's because of me watering them far too much. So they've been beautiful to eat, the ones that have worked well, absolutely gorgeous to eat. So I will do them again next year, but I'll do them, what I'll probably do is on the end of one of the onion beds, or just anywhere else. I will do them separately so that I can kind of be a bit more sparing with the water. The leeks are doing great. So these are the sort of the clumps of them where I direct sowed, and then just behind, actually let me come the other way if I can come around without without tripping over all of this. The ones I transplanted are looking absolutely gorgeous. Here they are in the front. I mean, still pretty tiddly, but that's kind of almost the point of them this year, is to just have them when they're young and tender like this, rather than leave them over winter and risk them ending up with allium leaf miner again. These are autumn kings. Oh, looking gorgeous. Looking gorgeous. I'm having a few occasionally, but I'm sure I've mentioned this before. Generally, I have my carrots as a sort of an autumn, winter and very early spring vegetable. So they'll all just happily sit in there until I'm ready to scoff them. Oh look, I think that's another one gone to seed. Yep, This is another one going to flower. Oh, what a shame. That's quite a big one as well. Hang on, let's have it out. Oh, I've accidentally pulled another. Do you know what? That's probably still edible though, so I'll eat it. I'm glad I've seen that now, actually. It just shows, doesn't it? Get your nets off every now and again. It's like I was saying with the, oh, what was I saying it with the other day? Oh, inside the cold frame. Yeah, do get your nets off every now and again to make sure you're having a good look at and monitor of the veg. And then hopefully, if, like me, you've got a carrot, can you see in the top there this much thicker stalk? You can tell it's very different to, say, one of its foliage leaves. I'm glad I've caught that in time today to still be able to make the most of eating the carrot and the little baby I pulled up next to it. Right, let's see if this cover's going to go back on. The vast majority of what I grow for storage. I grow for seeing me through the late autumn, the whole of winter, all of spring. It's great. But what I love about this time of year is coming to the garden and just having a few bits and pieces here and there and eating fresh again. Oh, it's wonderful. So, for instance, that carrot that I didn't think was going to be there, the peas, lovely. In a minute I'm going to go and dig up some new potatoes. I don't ever store the new potatoes, they're too yummy, they go. I will store the main crops. And today I'm in the fennel bed because despite the fact that I sowed quite thinly, they have come up well. I think pretty much the germination was fantastic, so they're too crowded, so they need thinning. Because I don't want to disturb the roots of their neighbours, I'm going to use my secateurs to thin them. Actually, let me bring you down to show you, so you can see they're far, far, far too close. I want probably, maybe as much as 10 centimetres between each of them. So, and like I said, because I don't want to disturb the roots of the ones I'm leaving, I'm just going to snip them out like this. These now, they're incredibly delicate at the moment. They don't have a really strong fennel flavour, but they do have a little bit. So they aren't going to be thrown away. They are going to be harvested. They will be lovely in a salad. That's what I might do, actually, because when my sister arrives later on, it is going to be even warmer later on. So to feed her, I'll probably just start us off with a nice little salad. Oh, it seems a shame I'm looking for the... Do you know what? I'm going to have that one. That's a little bit close, but what I'll do... See these two here? That's a little bit close ideally, but I'll keep an eye on them, and then I'll probably harvest this one first so that these either side have got a bit more space to flesh out. It's always the way, isn't it, that you get the really robust ones in a clump. But sorry, you know, as tempting as it is to leave them, it just won't be enough space for the bulbs to swell. Yes, so they will be lovely in a salad. If you're not at salad time of year, maybe. Well, it is salad time of year, isn't it? But if you don't fancy a salad, use them to make some stock. So if you've got some onion peelings, maybe like that carrot I've just taken out today, if I cut into it and I think, oh no, it's really woody and it's not good to eat, that will go in to help make the stock. I've got a different plan for these beauties, which, well, let's see if I do it, and if I do it, I will share it with you. Ooh, surprises. So yeah, isn't that the most beautiful green though? Absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure we all have that thing of we hate to thin. We hate thinning out when we've got these beautiful, viable little plants. I mean, look how much this one was shooting. We've got these gorgeous, viable little plants. So yes, it does break my heart a little bit every time I thin. Sorry plants, I'm so sorry. But ultimately, if I don't, I'm not doing myself any favours, because what is in there, it just really won't come to much. So yeah, get your snippers out and get thinning, and then use your thinnings for something gorgeous to eat. And now for one of life's greatest pleasures. Digging for buried treasure. Actually, let me get that out of the way so you can see what appears and what I'm seeing. This is a variety called Anya. Oh, there's a few. They're a cross between, I can't remember now, pink fir and something else. So you do get these rather peculiar shapes. Mostly they come out like this, sort of long, or sort of, long and straight. But they're an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous spud. Waxy, as you would want from a new potato. They cook beautifully. Wow, it's moist down there. That's fantastic. I did turn some of the leaves in when I was preparing this bed. Turned a few in by accident, but I think that's helped to keep it moist down there. Let me bring you in closely. Oops, so you can see how gorgeous it is down there. A quick fork, just so we don't get randoms next year. Hoopla. Oh yeah, one more. Now, there's some bindweed in there, so let's lay that to one side for a minute, because I don't want that going in my compost, obviously. Oh my goodness, they're already jumping. They're jumping out. Yeah, I'm amazed at how moist the soil looks and feels down here. Wonderful. I mean, okay, we did have some rain, but that rain was, where are we? When did it? It was Friday night, and this is 3 days later. Now, with the bindweed, bindweed, it's called a bind because it is a bind. I just always gently tease out as much as I can. When the roots snap off, it just makes a whole new plant. I'll never, give it a go, girl. I'll never be completely rid of it. You can see that's obviously a piece that got left behind maybe in the autumn or spring when I was prepping the bed, and that has now turned into this plant. So yeah, one will never be entirely rid of it, but just when I see it, like I said, I just try and get out as much as I can, and I think after a while it actually weakens the plant. Oh, I spy another spud. So yeah, these days when it comes up, it just seems kind of slower and less rampant. So once this row is empty, I can start to get in what's going in here. Purple sprouting broccoli. But that's a nice little lot today. Not a huge amount. I don't need a huge amount. That's the lovely thing about the new potatoes, just having them fresh. Just dig up a plant every sort of 3 or 4 days or so. Sometimes just once a week. And that'll make 2 or 3 meals. Lovely. Well, what a lovely morning it's been in the garden. Oh, this really is my happy place. I've got a load more little tinker jobs to do still this morning. Actually, we've just gone into the afternoon, so I've probably got about another hour before I have to dash off to meet my sister. But it's been gorgeous. The tinker jobs I'm not going to show you because otherwise this video is going to be hours and hours long. Oh, it's just so great to be in the garden. I do miss it when I'm not here. Ah, love it. Call me an old hippie, but when I come back after an absence of even a couple of days, I sort of say sorry to the garden. I say, I'm so sorry I haven't been here for you, but I'm back. What do you need me to do? And listen, and the plants will tell me what they want me to do. And they forgive me each time. And not only do they forgive me, but they then give me their harvest. So look at this lovely little wee basket of goodies for today. That random carrot, I just think if you can see it, yeah, the lovely peas, potatoes, these fennel trimmings are going to be gorgeous. And then with them all, I've just got my first, let me show you a couple. They're really muddy, they've been splashed, obviously by that rain, but these are the first of my beautiful rock and core. It's such a lovely bean. It's one that I will eat the whole pod and bean. It's beautifully waxy and it retains a lovely bite when it's cooked, so it goes really nicely with potatoes to make a potato salad. So what I'll do is, I think I'll do that potato salad with the rock and core, and then I think I'll probably chuck in a handful of peas too. Yum 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 yum. Hello Poppy. Oh, I've missed you, sweet pea. Oh, she's telling me off. Yes, so there's still quite a bit more to do out in the garden. There's nothing urgent. I'm just going to take a chill pill and enjoy. So I'm going to be away from the garden for a few more days now with my sister's visit. We are actually coming, I think I mentioned it, we're coming down here for a picnic. So I think on that day, any of there are a couple of outstanding jobs I would like to get on with quite promptly. So I will see if she doesn't mind if I just spend a bit of time in the garden doing some bits and bobs and hopefully film that. And yeah, so I'm going to say cheerio to you all for now because I'm off to go and start cooking and get ready for my sister's visit, and I'm dead excited. And tomorrow night we're going into the West End, my birthday treat. She's taking me to see Mamma Mia, the stage show. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I am so going to be dancing and singing in the aisles. Yay! I can't wait to tell you all about that afterwards. So yeah, if I can come down from that giddy cloud afterwards enough to talk to you, I will. So hopefully I'll see you all in a few days, and in the meantime, please take care of yourselves in the heat, stay well, enjoy the beautiful fresh pickings from your gardens, and enjoy your cat cuddles. Bye for now.